Facts Only Test Prep.
Welcome to Facts Only Test Prep. We're called Facts Only because we give you everything you need and nothing you don't when it comes to the SAT. So please enjoy the next video.
Circle formula.
In today's video, I want to show you how to use the circle formula to get some of the late points on some really otherwise difficult questions. Now, at the beginning of every math section, you're given a number of formulas about triangles and cylinders. You're given the formula for the area of a circle and the circumference of a circle. You're not given the formula for how to use a point of a circle, the center of a circle, and the radius of a circle to determine some piece of information. And so I want to focus on not only how to use that formula, but I want to show you the formula so that you can commit it to memory and use it when you take the test. This is one of the 2 or 3 formulas that you are not given. So whatever you do, even if you hate the rest of this video, memorize the formula, and I think you'll be really pleased with how it pays off when you do take your SAT. You're going to need Test 1, Section 4, Question 24, Test 2, Section 4, Question 24, and Test 5, Section 4, Question 29. Pause this video, go to factsonlytestprep.com where you can find the links to those tests, and let's get started. First of all, this is the formula. This is quantity x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared equals r squared, where h comma k are the xy coordinates of the center, and x comma y are the xy coordinates of some point on a circle, really any point on a circle. And r squared is the length of the radius squared. And you will usually be given one value or another or multiple values, and you'll be asked to find some other piece of information about the circle. Here's our first example. This is Test 1, Section 4, Question 24. Which of the following is an equation of a circle in the xy plane with center 0, 4, and a radius with endpoint 4/3, 5. So they're giving us the center, they're giving us an endpoint, that's an xy value. They're not giving us a radius necessarily. They're telling us where the endpoint is, but they're not telling us how long the radius is. So we don't know exactly how to put that into the equation. Here we have answer choice A, B, C, and D. And these are all theoretically in circle form. We just need to put the values that we have into that circle equation. So let's jump back. And here you see that it's the x value of the point minus the x value of the center squared, and the y value of the point minus the y value of the center squared, and those will add up to the radius squared. And let's just plug those values into our equation. So the x value of the endpoint is 4/3. It's 4/3 minus the x value of the center, that's 0. 4/3 minus 0 plus, and we'll do the same thing with the y's, that's 5 minus 4. Each of these is squared, and they will add up to r squared. Again, this is the value that we don't have, the r value. Let's clean this up a little bit, and we'll be able to solve for r, and then we'll generalize the equation. 4/3 minus 0 squared is 16/9 plus 5 minus 4, which is 1 squared. It just works out to 1, and that's going to be r squared. Quick tip, it doesn't matter if you subtract the x value of the point from the x value of the center or vice versa, because when you square these, you're going to get the positive value either way. You can't subtract an x from a y or a y from an x. Otherwise, you should be good. I'm going to give these a common denominator so that I have 16 over 9 plus 9 over 9 equals r squared. And when I simplify, I'm going to get 25 over 9. That's my radius. R equals 25 over 9. Remember, I'm going to jump back to the equation again, that the formula for the circle gives you radius squared. So we don't need to simplify that. We don't need to take the square root of it. We want the radius to be squared in our final answer. So that eliminates C and D. We want 25 over 9. In the generalized formula, we don't put our values in for x and y because remember, x comma y could be any point. So we really just need to decide what to put in for our center values. And our center values are 0 and 4. I'm going to work right down here. That should be enough room. The final equation in this formula should be x minus 0 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25 over 9. And x minus 0 simplified is x squared. And we get plus y minus 4 squared equals 25 over 9. And that would be answer choice A, would be our correct answer. Notice that B is very, very close, but we don't add our y value, we subtract our y value. B is out. All right, and that's question 24. That's late. Those are free points once you know this process. Our next two examples are going to involve completing the square. Bear with me, and the best way to get this right is to practice and learn by doing. So bear with me through this first example, then you'll get a chance to try it on your own on the next example, and then you should just do these over and over again. These are really the only two ways that circles are presented on the SAT, so don't feel overwhelmed. This is test 2, section 4, number 24. The equation of a circle in the xy plane is shown above. What is the radius of the circle? So again, we're going to fall back on our equation, but first we need to group our terms so that we can put them into the equation in question. So we've got x squared and 4x, we've got y squared, negative 2y, we've got negative 1 over here. The first thing I need to do is group my x terms and group my y terms. Do what I do. I'm going to say x squared plus 4x. See there, I'm grouping my x terms plus, I can do a better plus than that, plus y squared minus 2y. There I'm grouping my y terms, equals negative 1. Okay, now I need to add some numerical value to my x terms and to my y terms so that I have perfect squares. If I have perfect squares, then I can simplify them so that they fit the format of our circle formula. And you've done this maybe as long as you made it to Algebra 2. If you haven't seen it yet, then this is a self-contained skill. Don't think that you need to branch out. So here's the process. I'm going to write x squared plus 4x plus, I'm going to put a blank here, some number, plus y squared minus 2y plus, again, some blank, equals negative 1. And if I add a blank to the left-hand side, I have to add a blank to the right-hand side. So I'm putting both the x blank and the y blank in on the right-hand side. And I've used blue and red to indicate those. The numbers that I'm going to add, and this is the pattern, is 1/2 of the middle term coefficient squared. So 1/2 of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. And what we have now here, this x squared plus 4x plus 4 is a perfect square. I can reduce that to circle formula, and I'll show that in the next step. I'm going to do the same thing with the y terms. 1/2 of -2 is -1. -1 squared is +1. And then I'm going to add the 4 to the right-hand side and the 1 to the right-hand side. Now, actually, it turns out that this is all the information we need to find the radius, but I'm going to see this all the way through. X squared plus 4x plus 4 can actually be rewritten as x plus 2 squared. That's the goal of completing the square. And y squared minus 2y plus 1 can be rewritten as y minus 1 squared. And what it equals, -1 plus 4 plus 1, is 4. 4 is our radius squared, right? This is our formula. Everything is in the terms of our circle formula. Notice the question they're asking. That's something I always say. Let's answer the question they're asking. They're asking for the radius of the circle. Since r squared equals 4, r equals 2, so A is your answer. Let's do one more of these. This is Test 5, Section 4, number 29. Pause the video, see if you can do it on your own. Okay, and now let's do it together. Here we go. Again, we can't just throw this information into the formula without completing the square. And in this case, we'll be looking for the coordinates of the center of the circle. Those will be our h, k coordinates. But let's start by grouping our terms. We have x squared plus 20x. And then we've got that blank. That's what we need when we complete the square. Plus y squared plus 16y plus that blank equals -20. And I think I've got enough room here. Plus an x blank and a y blank. All right, how are we going to fill in this x blank? Half of the coefficient, right? Half of 20 squared. Half of 20 is 10. 10 squared is 100. We put 100 right here. 16. Half of 16 is 8. 8 squared is 64. We put 64 right here. And if we put in 100 in blue on the left side, we've got to put, I'm going to put it just above the blank there, 100 in blue on the left side, on the right side, I'm sorry, and 64 in red on the right side. Now we can simplify these down a little bit. X squared plus 20x plus 100 can be simplified to x plus 10 squared. Y squared plus 16y plus 64 can be simplified down to y plus 8 squared. -20 plus 100 plus 64 simplifies to positive 144. And remember, they're asking us for the coordinates of the center of the circle. Remember that our original formula is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So if we are subtracting h and we get positive 10, that means that our h value is actually negative 10. If we are subtracting k and our k value, and we get positive 8, then we are actually subtracting 8. So our x and y values, or our h and k values, the center of this circle, are -10, -8. B is our answer. Good luck, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure that you like us and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll get information on the new videos as soon as they're available. It helps us a lot. Also, visit us at factsonlytestprep.com. That's where you'll find links to the tests that I use in my lessons, along with some other resources that we prepared for you. Thanks and good luck.